Hi there, ho there. This is going to be a little astrological video about the new moon. So, the new moon right now is in Scorpio. So, how are the Scorpios doing out there? I'm sure you're feeling it. I'm sure you're feeling it, Scorpios. Feeling a little bit extra sensitive, feeling a little bit perplexed, maybe feeling a little irritable, or maybe feeling amazing. Maybe all the above. I'm not sure. I've got Scorpio in my chart. So this is for all Scorpios, whether it's your rising sign, your sun sign, or your moon sign. What does that mean? Well, look it up online. There's plenty of calculators for rising signs and so forth on Google. I myself, Scorpio sun sign. So, right now, the new moon is in Scorpio. What does that mean? Well, transformation. Scorpio, you're all about transformation. We are the signs that are about rising above. Our sister sign is also the eagle. So Scorpios rise from the ashes, kind of like the phoenix, and go into the eagle. Why do they do that? So that they can gain perspective. Eagles are in the air looking down, rising above, looking around, seeing what's going on, because Scorpio, if you're down in the dark, if you're down in the dirt, if you're under a rock, you can't get a lot of perspective. Scorpios are very dark people. If you know what I'm talking about, Scorpio, they're not afraid to go down into the depths. They're fearless. Scorpios will talk about anything to do with darkness, to do with death, to do with transformation, to do with rebirth, if they feel safe and confident and comfortable. The shadow side of Scorpio is the stinger. The stinger represents all of that fear, all of that jealousy, all of that possessiveness, all of that rage that you haven't dealt with. That is why you have that stinger. Because underneath that exoskeleton of a scorpion is mush. I mean, think about it. A scorpion has the power to hypodermically sting something to death. But if you catch it off guard and you stomp on it, it's completely crushed. Or if you pull that stinger off, it's helpless. You get to the underbelly of that sign. And the only way they're going to put that stinger away is if we feel safe. So the new moon is all about finding that sense of safety. It's about that transformative process that you naturally do, Scorpio, because the gifts that you've been given are depth, perspective, and kind of like a gargoyle, you're a guardian. You're all about love and passion. Scorpios are extremely passionate signs. We rule the genitals in the human body, so we're all about death, rebirth, sexuality, passion, creativity. All those kinds of elements. And our goal is to survive. That is the mantra of Scorpion. I will survive. I mean, try and find me a Scorpio that hasn't had a really hard life. You won't. Because we're equipped to be resilient. Against all opposition, I will survive. That is the Scorpio. It's about triumph and it's about passion. So remember that. Now, what does that have to do with the new moon? Well, the new moon is in Scorpio on October 30th, and because Mercury is aligned with the new moon, Mercury is the sign of Gemini. Geminis are all about communication. Geminis are extremely communicative people. They have the ability to organize, communicate their needs. Geminis can talk. If you know a Gemini, you know what I'm talking about. I have lots of Geminis in my life, and I adore them because they help me understand what I'm trying to say, because sometimes I get kind of caught up in all that thought and emotion and feeling, and I need to be able to put it into a world where it can function without feeling like I need to zap my stinger out all the time. Geminis are influencing that right now in your life because of that Mercury kind of planet. So they're whispering in your ear going, it's okay, little Scorpio. Now's the time to deal with your shit. It's the time to deal with all that baggage that you haven't been dealing with. The reason why you might be being extra stingy or extra bitchy or extra grumpy, whether it's at work or in relationships or with your children. Now is the time for you to dig deep into all those wounds. Maybe it's time to talk to a counselor, a social worker, a therapist, your husband or wife, whatever, and let them know, hey, you know what? I've been pushing all this shit down and I want to kind of move forward and I want to rise above like the eagle and get perspective. Well, now's the time to do it because you have this really strong, supportive Gemini influence that's giving you language to do that. Now, what are the other influences in the new moon right now? Neptune. Neptune is the sign of Pisces. Pisces is your fellow water sign. Pisces are all about dreaming. They're the dreamers. They're about creativity. They're about the arts. You know, Pisceans are very sensitive people. You know, they're also Pisces because they're so sensitive too. They are prone to manipulation as well. They can struggle with substances and that kind of thing because they are so sensitive, and if they're not listened to, they can struggle with the same things as Scorpio. But that childlike innocence that Pisces can bring to your life is kind of calling to you right now. So if you have any baggage that you have to work through, you know, now's the time, because you have this kind of Piscean Peter Pan energy that's letting you know, hey Scorpio, stop being so freaking dark. There's light and life and beauty to life, and you have to work through this baggage so that you stop stomping around work or being grumpy or pissy or whatever you're doing, or maybe withdrawing and hiding and not wanting to go out into the world and expose yourself to the pain that you've been avoiding. Because Scorpio, that's your job. Your job is to be dark, is to take people into places that they're afraid to go, because that's where you're comfortable. Your gifts are about rising above, about transforming, about sitting in those really hard places. That's why you do really well working with marginalized people, working with people who face adverse circumstances, whether it's in rehabilitation, in social work, working with at-risk youth, working in domestic violence, working where you can sit with uncomfortable, deep emotions with people. Because, you know, we live in a culture where, you know, this is why Scorpios struggle. You know, we don't have easy lives. We live in a culture that doesn't want to focus on those things sometimes. You know, they want to focus on the, you know, lollipop fantasies that go on in life. Well, Scorpios, our soul's purpose is to take you down to the places you don't want to go, roll around with you, and help you climb back up and rise above. That's the gift that you have. If you haven't done that with yourself, basically, if you haven't worked on your own shit, you know, you're going to come across as really dark and really intimidating and really stingy to some people. And they're going to have a hard time letting you know how they feel, because you are an intimidating sign, because you do envelop and possess with energy. So you want to focus on the lighter side of Scorpio, on being able to hold your own, being able to be calm and confident without kind of lashing out and stinging or withdrawing. And that's what this new moon is trying to tell you, Scorpio, is it's your time to rise. It's your time to deal with that baggage, because you're giving this Gemini influence of communication and this kind of light and lively, lovely Piscean influence with Neptune. So if this is speaking to you, Scorpio, you know, let me know. So I'm going to light a candle, you know, just to bring some light into our lives, because it's what we need right now, Scorpio. We need to get a little lighter, because things are feeling a little dark right now. We've just gone through, you know, Samhain into the Celtic New Year. Again, it's about birth and death and harvest and winter and going into that transformative process. So, you know, be thankful of that. Try to sit with those feelings and emotions that are coming up right now. I do a bit of tarot, so I pulled a tarot card on Scorpio, and the Eight of Cups came up. And if you look at this card, there's all of these cups, and water represents emotion, and cups represent feelings and emotions. And then you have this person, which is kind of like a hermit, going up the mountain, and it's walking away from this. You know, 8 represents infinity if it's on its side, and the only thing permanent is change. So you have to accept that this is a transformative process, Scorpio, and you're going to be going on a bit of a journey. This could be travel. This could be maybe a new relationship. This could be maybe a new career. This could even be just a new perspective on yourself. You know, maybe you are trapped in a job you don't want to be in, or in a relationship you're not sure about. And maybe, you know, you don't want to leave it entirely, but maybe you have to leave behind some of those old ideas. Maybe you have to start being honest with people about the fact that you are feeling extra sensitive, or you aren't having your needs met in certain ways, and it's time to kind of move through that. Because again, there's that Mercurian influence in your life. You know, so try and remember that this is a time for you to work through that baggage so that you can reach your full potential, which again is about depth, intuition, protectiveness, passion, right? These are all qualities that make you wonderful. So, if this speaks to you, Scorpio, let me know. You know, stay tuned, and there's going to be more videos about Scorpio, because that's where we are right now in the planetary chart. You know, we're going to be going into Scorpio, and then Sagittarius, and then Capricorn as we move on. So stay tuned. Until then, take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon. Bye.